Alright, let's play some Paladins. What's going on, guys? This is Cheer here. Welcome to a little bit different of a type of video that I usually do. Today we're going to be just playing some Paladins. Well, I already played it, I'm just talking over, but this is some Paladins gameplay that I got a few days ago. I don't really play Paladins that much, but honestly it is a fucking fun game if you're tired of playing Overwatch. But no, I enjoyed the game. It is pretty fun. I got some pretty decent clips on here, so that's what you guys watch this as long as I talk. But today's video is going to be talking about gaming and where it's at in today's society as far as it was, you know, when I was a kid growing up around the the late 90s, early 2000s, about how different it was basically, and how much it's grown apart as everyone's lives, as part of society, as part of media in general. But let's start this up. Let's start going over basically of the games I grew up playing, which is basically KI Go, which is Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, GoldenEye 007, Vigilante 8, Turok, all the Street Fighters, and many more games. As a kid, when I grew up, I mostly grew up playing fighters. Didn't really play much else besides a few shooters, but mostly fighters. With time, when I would be able to play the games, I would play fighters. But as I grew older, I kind of strayed away from fighters because my favorite fighting game is Street Fighter. And after the alphas, I didn't really enjoy it that much as I usually was. So I pretty much stopped playing fighters when I was around 13, 14 years old, maybe 12 actually. And then I started getting into a lot of shooters, and I started to get into Battlefield, I started to get into Call of Duty, I started to get into just all the shooters out there. And I primarily played Battlefield mostly, but I was a god in that game. I played that game so damn much. I would put literally 10 hours a day into that game as a kid. But you get the gist. Everyone has their genres of gaming that they typically stick to. Like for me, for a very long period of time, it was fighters. Then I went to FPS, horror. Then I went back to fighters for a little bit. Then now I'm back into like the FPS genre. A little bit of both, because I don't really have the money to get the newer fighters, and also Street Fighter 5 is kind of shit, so can't really play that. But yeah, that's my history, and for my honest opinion, from just looking at how games have came from what it is down to what it is today. I mean, what it is now. I mean, from what it was 10, 15 years ago to what it is now. Obviously, technology has had a huge play into games, not just as far as the graphics go, but as far as the coding and how the games actually work, and how it's just everything. It's just so in depth now, with especially how games are pretty much the biggest media in the world. If you don't really know that, but streaming and content creating, YouTubing and esports are pretty much one of the world's largest media followings in the world right now. Like, if you really pay attention to that, there are more people who watch streams throughout the year than there are people watching this fucking Super Bowl. And millions of people watch Super Bowl. That just shows you how big gaming has gotten from when I was a kid. When I was around 10, 13 years old, it was pretty much like, oh, those games are gonna fucking drag your brains out and make you turn into an evil person if you don't stop playing those goddamn games. You got to go outside, boy, you know, shit like that. Excuse my French. Stuff like that, you know. Basically, video gaming has became, if not one of the main things kids want to do as a profession, one of the only things. If you love gaming, people want to become a content creator, people want to become a streamer or a professional player. And that was me as a kid, not even gonna lie, that was me. When I really saw how popular YouTube was and how big streaming was, I decided that, you know, maybe it was time for me to, you know, get into the whole pro scene and really put hours and hours into the goddamn to the multiplayer and shit like that. But after realizing it, after doing it for as long as I have, like, I played Killer Instinct, the fighting game, so much that I got, within a year, I got into top 1300 or 1500. I was up there. I could have, within a few more months, maybe 6 more months or a year of practice, I probably could have been competing in tournaments. But that just shows you that if I could put that much time into, Killer Instinct, I put that much time into pretty much anything and become a pro at it. But when you really look at it, games are not made, well, games are now, but when I grew up, games were completely different as far as not just what you get a game for, but the style of gaming, what you wanted to play the game for, and how it was made. I feel like games now are more catered for competitive esport than anything other than actual casual gaming or hardcore gaming. People who just play the game just to love it. And I've started to realize slowly and slowly as I grew older playing games that I loved it, not because I wanted to become the best in the world, because I just genuinely love playing games. And I feel like that a lot of people don't play games for that reason anymore. And it kind of, stopped me playing games for a good year, actually. I spent like a whole year and a half just watching anime all day. Like, it was butt cheeks, man. But after thinking about it, and after learning from my mistakes about the games I played and how long I played them and the reason behind it, and content creating and all that stuff, and staying on top of everything, honestly, I want to just take apart to realize in this video that I pretty much, I think I only did that like twice. That's besides the fact. I'm over getting some easy claps in this gameplay. But next thing I want to talk about is just how, like, on top of everything that has changed, just the overall style of gaming and what game is made it for, but just society and morals and pretty much the views on everything have changed. And when society changes, of course, you're going to expect some things that have a huge play on society to change with it. That includes gaming. I feel like that as far as when society started to change, as far as when everyone started to get really offended about everything, offensive. And I don't want to offend anyone when I'm talking about this, but it is what it is, the fucking truth. You had the LGBTQ, sorry, I don't want to butcher the LGBTQ community when they started to get ravished and attacking everybody for pretty much nonsensical reasons about just basically wordplay. And not just that, you had feminists, and you had miniists, and then you had racists, and then you had, these power groups that claim they're not racist, but they're actually racist too. You had religious groups going crazy over everyone. You have all this drama going on in just America in general. And when you really look at it, a lot of stuff that has been happening in society has had a change on gaming in general and the play on everything, as far as what you can put into the game, as far as what's considered an R-rated game or a rated game for teens. Let's just look at this character. My axe accuracy is on point right now. I'm clapping everyone with these guys on axes. But besides the point, the game has just changed based on society, and I guess the main question I'm just going to ask is, where do you think like gaming is at right now? Like, is everyone proud of it? Like, where games at as far as just how games are being created, or are you proud of just how big games are in general? Me personally, a lot of people I talk to on a daily basis say that games are in like the worst place as it's ever been, because of typically, the most popular games are just multiplayer games. There's really no hard edge, campaign-based, story-based campaign games out there, besides maybe like 3 or 4 of them that are really dominating the market. And I can understand that. You got Fallout, you got Borderlands, is a really big one that is really doing some moves with this new game they got coming out. And this, sorry about that. Sorry about the call, but there's plenty of the games that a lot of people still play that are really good as far as just having a campaign or just not a multiplayer in general. But those games don't really get as popular as the Battle Royales or as Fortnite was, or as when Black Ops 2 Call of Duty era was going on. That shit was crazy. And a lot of people kind of hate that type of gaming because it's not really gaming anymore, because it's just all about who can get the most kills in a game, or who can get the most damage, or who can win the most. And it's not about enjoying the game anymore. And I can understand where people come from when they say stuff like that, because I agree with it. But in my honest opinion, I think gaming right now, I don't care what you say, because personally I hate Battle Royales. I love Apex Legends though. I don't like the way gaming is right now, as far as how people cater to the audiences of making games, and how games are being made, and how they're meant to be played, and competitive and multiplayer, all that crap. But you gotta live with it, guys. You can blame DICE and all their loot crates as much as you want. You can hate on Bethesda and them taking forever on the new Elder Scrolls games, or whatever you want to complain about. But no matter what, okay, just talk about how I didn't see his head got a headshot. But as much as you want to hate it, the gaming community and industry is in the best spot it could possibly be right now. I mean, think about it. People can literally make a living off of playing games. 5-8 years ago, when this stuff really started to hit off, it was like, okay, you do this shit, this is a risky decision you may make, this could die for 3 years if you don't do it right. But now this is like a legitimate career. They're teaching this shit in schools now. If I was in college and they had courses on gaming, man, I would be in that shit faster than white on rice. there's a lot of stuff that makes gaming in the industry a lot better than what it was 8 years ago. And I guess that really boils down to this one final question. Where do I think gaming is at as a whole, as far as it being at a peak? Is it at its highest point? Is it at its lowest point? And in my honest opinion, it's at its highest point. To me, 8-10 years ago, I look at you like you were stupid. I'm being dead serious, but as growing up, as seeing YouTube growing to what it is now, streaming, Twitch becoming what it is now, there are people making millions off of this. And honestly, when you really look at it, streamers and content creators, just gaming, just the gaming industry in general, I'm pretty sure it's the world's largest media viewing. Yeah, it's the world's largest media viewing count. I don't care what anyone says. I think the only other content or media that can compete with gaming is the movie industry. And that's just my opinion. We have a lot of shit we didn't have when I was a kid growing up as far as in gaming. So that's just my opinion. I think gaming is at its best right now. Would it get better? Would it get worse? It just depends on society. As you all may know, games depends on how it's made and how it's catered. It all depends on how the audience is and how they're reacting. So that's just my opinion, guys, not yours. If you have any other different opinions on how do you think gaming is it bad? Is it at its worst? And also leave down below what was your favorite games as a kid growing up, or favorite gaming genre. I really love to hear from you guys and all of your opinions. And this has been Cyber Trio signing out, sharing one experience, one video at a time. Thank you all for watching.